Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Frustrated Grad Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Hughes, the black dude who eats, sleeps, and breathes yogurt. And I'm welcoming my co host, movie fan, writer, and person I hope doesn't go feral by the end of this podcast, Tony Hoffman.
I eat, sleep, and breathe Jules brand rotisserie chicken
Okay.
and their potato wedges.
I thought you were going with Italian beef because I've seen a couple of photos of those before prior to them getting devoured. All right, so this episode, in this episode, we're going to talk about a movie where a creature of lesser intelligence faces off against their oppressor. But enough about Atomic Blonde. We both saw War for the
Yeah,
Planet of
I
the
saw
Apes.
that you on your timeline that you saw that was that like a one of those free like press screenings that they have where you win the contest or the.
Now this one was just an email I got as a Marcus Theaters card holder. They said, "Hey, there's a free screening of Atomic Blonde. You just have to show up in person to get the tickets." So I showed up and got one of the last seats in like the second row. But it was a free movie. A free movie is a free movie. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. But we have both seen War for the Planet of the Apes, and we'll get to that after a little bit of news up front. But even before that, most importantly, how's your week been, Tony?
It's been pretty good. I saw War for the Planet of the Apes yesterday. We'll get into that a little bit. Yeah, just went to the gym. Uh, Not a whole lot.
Gym tan laundry or gym
Gym tan.
gym gym tan movies or something like that?
Something like that. Kind of thinking like what else? I think that I had plans to like go other places. I know that like Pitchfork is happening here in Chicago, and you know I'm not going to that, but it's near my gym, which is interesting. I can always like
Can you
walk
hear
past there and
anything?
see. I mean, I I guess when I'm like standing on the Green Line train platform right there on the Ashland and Lake,
Okay.
but I don't really I wasn't really paying attention. I was just ignoring all of the hipsters and like the
Yeah.
people selling water bottles and shit
Because I know that was the
outside.
one cool thing about when I used to work across the street from Lollapalooza. Because I used to work at Roosevelt while I was going there. And I could go outside and occasionally hear some music. But I couldn't. Sometimes it was like a jumble of just noise. But occasionally you could hear stuff. I think I heard CeeLo pretty clearly whatever year
Yeah,
that
it's tough to
was.
hear clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
so.
yeah, so, I didn't go. I should have mentioned this last week. I didn't go to the Taste of Chicago at all. If you even
Oh,
want to call
yeah.
it the Taste of Chicago,
Yeah, I
a
didn't.
little.
I never have any desire to go deal with those crowds or get any like small taste portion thing for way too much money. Did you happen upon the taste of
It's
WVON?
just. Oh, did that? I haven't seen it. Did it already happen already?
I have to check. Let me. I'll look it up while we continue on. But it's
'Cause I would
usually
definitely
after
go.
the taste of Chicago,
I usually like what. I'm surprised I didn't hear about it. I assume it hasn't happened.
though. Yeah, I have to check. I think it might not have occurred yet. Let me see as I go to WVON.com, which Stan Lawrence always will remind me that it stands for Voice of the Negro.
Patience and
because
Gigolo.
I mean that's what it was when he was a youngin. I also have some other VON related news to talk about. Let me see. Taste of WVON. It what what is the date on it? Okay, I know El DeBarge will be performing. Uh,
Oh, can't wait.
yeah,
Who's Johnny? July the 15th at 10 a.m. Is that today?
that was
Or that's
yesterday
yesterday?
actually. Okay,
Uh,
so you
I thought
just
I already
missed
had
it.
it.
And they've probably cleaned
Damn.
up and everything. Yeah, because I know it's always on a Saturday because it's always on the day had to work overnight, so I would have to come and help them clean up as I'm getting ready to start my shift. So yeah, you missed a great performance by El DeBarge. Also,
How will
King
I
Marching
live?
Band. Yeah. So
Yeah.
too bad for you. Oh, also in other WVON news, more important news. Fletcher the cat, the WVON mascot, who's been there for 21 years. He passed away this week. So
An actual cat, or is this a person's nickname?
no, he's an actual cat. He lived at
Uh,
the station, I think since he was a kitten, and like nobody, like when I was working there, like nobody could tell me exactly how old he was, but it sounds like they've put up his obituary picture on the main page. You can see it. It scrolls along the top if you go to von.com. And the picture they actually used for that is a picture I took of Fletcher. Cause
oh, nice.
yeah, cause I
Your
worked.
work is being used.
Yeah, so I worked with Fletcher for about 3 years because I did that Saturday overnight shift for 3 years, and he always kept me company. It would just be me and him in the building for like up to like 6 hours at a
So
time.
this has affected you tremendously. I can
Yeah,
tell.
plus he's the oldest cat I ever knew. Got to be 21 years old, so like it makes me worry. Like my oldest cat that I had ever had prior to meeting Fletcher was 10 years old, and now the cat that I currently have is 11, so it makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I think my sisters had a cat that was, I think, like maybe 12 or 13.
Okay. I mean, at least Fletcher gives me hope because like the rumor was when I started, they thought he was about 20 then, but it sounds like on his
That's
little
bullshit.
yeah, on his little picture they have him listed as born in 1996. So he was 21 when he died. So the
Oh,
R.I.P. Fletcher the cat. Or I called him Fletcher Span because I was assuming he was a member of the Span family. But anyway,
so the cat is, it's obviously, you can't flush it down a toilet like a goldfish. So they just
not
threw it
quite.
in like they put it in a hefty bag and just
I'm
threw it
not
in the
exactly
dumpster.
sure. Out of respect for the cat and the family of the cat, I will not indulge this line of questioning.
Roadkill.
No. All right. What is in the news this week?
Ah, uh, what is in the news this week? We have the first female Doctor Who.
Also, the reveal has happened.
Yes, they revealed it on BBC. It was after the Wimbledon men's final. They made the announcement there, and it's
That's bad timing. Like,
Jodie Whittaker.
why couldn't they do it during the women's Wimbledon final? It just seems like a better time. All right. So who is this?
Okay,
Who is this? Jody.
Jodie Whittaker. You may know her from the Black Mirror episode, the entire history of you. She was the wife of the Toby
Wait, the
Tibble
cheating
character.
whore. Let me.
The cheating whore. That was the name of her character.
Yeah, like that's one of
50 on
that's
Foxwell was the name of her character in that episode.
all right. That's one of those Black Mirror episodes that I'll never watch again. Just like, this one hurts too much. Just like it's like sitting in between your parents fighting. It's like I'm not gonna do this again. Um, all right, so that's
But you were, yeah, you remember her, so yeah.
yeah. I mean, I remember that episode for sure. So that's an
And
interesting
she
choice.
she plays Beth Latimer on Broadchurch,
Okay,
the original English version.
okay. I never watched that one. I watched the uh
Shitty
the
American
the
version.
American version. I didn't. I never finished it. What was the name of that
Most
one?
people didn't.
I, for,
God damn it!
I have to look that up now. Broadchurch, U.S.
I'm gonna try to beat you to Grace Point. Grace Point.
Grace Point. That's what it was. All right. So I'm looking at this Jodie Whittaker. I mean, she looks. I could see her in the suit with
What
sneakers
is
and
it about
stuff
her
like that.
looks that makes you think that you could see her in the?
I mean, cause she doesn't look very different than like a female David Tennant, so I could picture her in his outfit with the fez on. So I mean, there's still gonna be people mad. Obviously, like she's not a woman of
Obviously,
color.
I was just like reading that like on someone's Facebook update. It's like they were gonna get screwed either way if they went with like the usual white guy, then people would get upset, and if they went with the woman, people were gonna get upset.
Yeah, I mean, because this is like looking at her and looking at like if you just look at the Google search images, like yeah, she kind of looks like the dudes that they would pick. So it's like, all right, it's not a big difference. Like if you just think Matt Smith or David Tennant with long blonde hair, kind of looks like this girl. So
I just hope that this sort of opens up the creativity vault for the show, gives it
I would hope
some new
so.
energy. There's
Yeah,
some definitely some different uh, directions they can go now.
it's gonna really enhance the porn parodies as well because
It's
the
always very important.
porn
Doctor
parodies
Screw,
have already transitioned to a female doctor. They were way ahead of the curve. Uh,
like a progressive.
yeah,
I'm just happy that Stephen Moffat is going to be leaving along with Peter Capaldi and
yeah,
Krista.
that's gonna be a welcome change. Um, yeah, so maybe that's where I'll start and just start fresh. Be like, hey, new doctor, it's a new day. Timeline always pretty much resets. It's just like, oh, let's visit the Daleks, let's visit the Cybermen again. So it's like you could pretty much just start right there. So
Yeah,
that's when I'm gonna join in. All right. So
I'll be watching the Christmas special to see the Doctor's regeneration.
yeah, I predict there will be yellow beams of light coming from the head and sleeves of the Doctor. Let's just call it
You
a
sure about
crazy,
that?
a wild guess, but I'm just gonna
They
predict
may
that.
do it off screen.
Or they might do it extremely quick, like they did with Peter Capaldi, which was just like anticlimactic. It was just like, wait, where's the big
Yeah, yeah.
head explosion? That was my favorite part. Just like,
You
uh,
were so you were so used to the David Tennant
yeah, like
transformation,
when you have these huge
regeneration.
beams coming from his head and his arms, he's destroying the TARDIS. Yeah, I love that. It's
It looks like it's going to be a
cleansing
pretty cool
fire.
episode because they have David Bradley playing the first Doctor. He played him in that Doctor Who TV movie from I think a couple of years ago about
Oh,
the
Doc
beginning of Doctor Who.
Doctor Zero or whatever, because I don't think they've shifted the numbers, but yeah, he's the first Doctor or before he became the Doctor, whatever you call that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Maybe that's always one of the little cheeky things they do when it regenerates. So I guess I predict she's gonna look down her pants and be like, what happened? And
yeah,
then
then she's gonna do the whole teeth thing and the with the
yeah,
kidneys and the
then
and what else?
fondle
She's not
herself.
a ginger. Uh,
Yeah, I'm not a ginger. I'm not black. Thank God. I'm a woman. Ooh, I'm a
I don't think
woman.
they're gonna have that. People would complain.
Thank God I'm not black. Not one of those blackazoids. Those negroids. Um. Anyway. Speaking of
On that note,
speaking of British things that are popular in America, what's going on with Game of Thrones?
yeah, it comes back tonight.
Yes.
Tonight's night.
Thank
Whose
God.
HBO Go password are you stealing?
Hey, that's between me and that unsuspecting victim. Just kidding. Um, maybe. But I'm watching it. That's all you need to know. Some people
Don't they?
wait
They have
until
their
they're on
free.
iTunes and just pay for them after the fact. Why
They
can't
have
we
like
do
the.
that?
They have the free HBO weekend this week, right? I
Does
think I
that
saw
count for
something.
like the streaming, like HBO Now or whatever?
I don't know. You have to
I have to
check it
find
out.
out about that.
Have you already? Don't they have like a free trial or some shit for like new subscribers, or did you use that up already?
I don't think I've ever had an individual trial. I had it through PlayStation View before, and then I think maybe I had standalone HBO. Was it Go or HBO Now at some point? So I probably wouldn't qualify, but
Oh, so do
I'll
you
I'll
remember where
find
we
out.
left off? Do you remember where we left off from last season?
I remember Cersei was sitting on the throne. Remember that awesome green explosion where she murdered nearly
Those
everyone in King's
assholes. Yeah,
Landing.
yeah.
That whole the sparrows. Um, yeah, because she even killed her little boy
Her
and
son
and
killed
his wife.
himself.
Huh?
Her son jumped out the
Well,
window.
yeah, she killed his wife, and then he
It
took that
caused
swan
him.
dived.
She caused him to kill himself.
Yeah, he swan dived out the window. It was beautiful in a way, but
Beautiful, beautiful
it's
suicide.
yeah, that sounds like a great song. I'm sure it's out there to check it out. Yeah, it was a beautiful suicide. Um, uh,
Jon Snow is the king of the North
yeah,
with Sansa
things don't
and
usually work out too well for the King of the North, but I predict this is gonna go slightly differently. Plus, he has that ace up his sleeve of red woman who'll bring him back just arbitrarily. So
but he banished her. She's
yeah, but
gone.
she's not gone forever. I'm sure she'll get
She'll
news
turn up
of
somewhere else.
yeah, she'll hear news of Jon Snow's death if he dies again. And she'll pop back up. She's like, you know what? Undo this.
That would be quite terrible writing. Like,
Yes,
well,
some
we're
would say
so
it's
happy you
terrible
don't like
writing
her
to
on the
do it
show.
once at all. Just like yeah, death is meaningless.
No, it was terrible for them to pretend that he was dead and then for the actress to lie and say
Yeah,
that he was dead,
I love
even
the
though it
the
happened
SNL
before.
sketch about it. It's just like isn't he back yet? Come on, let's hurry up with this. Um, but yeah, because they made you wait through like the entire episode for that. Um, so
And
hopefully there won't be any of that during.
Jon
This is
Snow,
the
we
last
found out
season.
that no, so the next there's like these like rumors that they're going to split the. It's going to
That's
be
I've
this
heard
many
that.
episodes. And they're going to split it into
Yeah, like
halves, and they're
Walking
going to
Dead style.
yeah like spin off and all this bullshit because the show is so popular and so
Yeah.
profitable. You know, HBO doesn't want to give up that cash cow
Why couldn't leftovers have these kind of problems?
because nobody watched it.
Well, I did and I enjoyed it. It was a satisfying ending though. At least that's one thing. Like that's
Yeah,
under.
I heard it was a
Uh,
good show.
yeah, it was a. I got that under my belt. It was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm happy with that. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for Game of Thrones.
Yeah. We found out last season at the end that Jon Snow is he's half Targaryen and
Yeah.
half Stark. Like he's not the bastard son of Ned
No, he's
as we
he's the
thought.
son of Ned's sister and Rhaegar Targaryen, I believe.
Yes,
The was
that's the
that the Mad
father of
King or
Danny's Denise Targaryen's father,
Yeah, the Mad
Khaleesi.
King himself. They thought he had kidnapped um, Rob Stark's sister, but they were secretly uh, having an affair or whatever they called it at that time. But yeah,
And
all right. So it,
there's other stuff happening, but
yeah, I mean, Daenerys is actually finally on her way to King's Landing. That is,
the dragons and fucking. I know that the Tyrell, the Diana Rigg, she's plotting with the Sand sisters to get
yeah,
back at Cersei.
the Sand Snakes.
Sand snakes.
Yeah, don't kiss a sand snake because you might get poisoned. Um, all right, so I'm ready for that. I'm so ready.
Have you
Um,
been paying attention to all of this Disney Expo D23 stuff that's been coming out?
I
That
have
people,
not.
yeah. It's like
So
I just want to know like the. I don't want to know too much about it. I just want to know like what the headlines are because I don't
yeah,
obviously I don't want to be spoiled with anything, but you can't help but see it because it's being posted everywhere. And
yeah, because you don't want to know how Lion King ends. That's a
yeah, well, absolutely.
you you can't spoil that.
Spoiler. Yeah, it's almost like it's Othello or something,
Yeah,
like
uh,
Shakespeare
yeah,
or Macbeth, actually.
yeah. You don't want those key plot points ruined because it's not like they've ever been done before.
Centuries old
Yeah,
play.
you would almost say that this is a tale as old as time. Um,
Well, speaking of the Lion King, the John Favreau directed live action Lion King, they revealed like the opening of the movie at D23, and it's pretty much a shot for shot live action remake
of
of the
course,
animated version with the whole Circle of Life thing
it's a lot of
with
CG
Rafiki.
animals.
Yeah, Rafiki holding up the baby
Squash
Simba.
banana. That's good. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
From what I've heard, it looks amazing. People are really
I
really
mean, I've
taken
seen the
aback by
Jungle
it.
Book, so I don't doubt it because like Jungle Book was pretty believable. So
Still haven't seen it yet,
it's pretty good. Like
and it's
I
on
watched it
Netflix
way
too.
yeah I watched it way later when it showed up on Netflix, and I approve. It was like it reminds you of
Surprisingly
how
good. Like,
similar it is.
yeah. So that looks like it's going to be pretty good. Disney continues their string of making people watch the same movie twice.
Yeah, it's called Wringing It Dry.
I swear, man.
Yeah. Like what is left? They did Pete's Dragon. Like what's left?
Oh no, that's what that this D23 thing they announced. That, I mean, we already knew that Mulan was. They're going to
Yeah, of
give that the
course.
live action.
Are they
Seeming like
bringing
that's
back
coming
Eddie
out
Murphy as the dragon again?
as the dragon. Yeah, but hope. Yeah, I assume he's still probably mourning his brother passing, but we haven't heard a lot from him. But I don't know. I mean, Will Smith is officially playing the genie in the Aladdin live action remake.
Hmm. I don't know if that would have been my choice. Will Smith.
Yeah, that was the general sentiment on the
They could
social
have. They
media.
should have gone with Sinbad, so that people could finally have
Vomit.
that. No, people could finally have that Mandela effect rectified because everybody thinks that Sinbad was in a genie movie called Kazam, but it was actually Shaq. I think the movie was called Shazam. But so it's one of those
What the
weird.
hell? Wasn't Sinbad in some movie like that
That's
or?
what everybody thinks, and it's a weird. Like that's the only one of those like Mandela effect things that freaks me out. I was just like, wait, I swear I've heard of this movie, but like apparently it doesn't exist. So who knows? Um,
Yeah, they
maybe we are in the
they
darkest timeline.
they showed footage from the Avengers Infinity War, the first trailer that hasn't been uh, released to the public yet, but
Dude,
journalists and people
you
who
can
are
keep
at
it.
D23.
You know what? Allow me to speak for the public, but please keep that. Don't give it to
Exactly.
us. Like, it's funny. Like,
People were like searching for it and stuff on the
why?
social
Why are you
media
torturing
yesterday.
yourself? Plus,
I don't
like,
know.
there's one thing that really made me feel justified in my hardline stance of like not watching anything like past the first trailer, because in a lot of Spider-Man Homecoming reviews, I heard people being like, "Well, the trailers, if you watch them all, it kind of lays out how the movie's gonna play
Like
out
the
for
whole
you."
movie,
It's just like,
it's like
well,
the whole McBain thing with like the Simpsons. Somebody took like all the clips from the McBain movies. It's like a whole linear
mm,
movie, like a 10-minute movie.
that's interesting. I need to check that out. But it's like it's funny how like because I heard that in actual reviews was like, well, the trailers kind of ruined these like surprise elements. I was just like, well, shouldn't have watched the fucking trailer. Like, you
Exactly.
know what the movie's gonna be, you know you're going to see it. Why are you still watching trailers? Like,
But the problem is
trailers
that
supposed to
like
sell the movie. It's not supposed to
it's
show you the movie.
people are like when you read articles and stuff, whether it's like on Gizmodo or IGN or IO9 or whatever, like
Hmm.
your news site of choice, they're always going to reference what was in the trailer for for the next in every story for the next couple of months until the movie comes out. People are going to talk about it, and it's like you want to save it for when you actually go to the movie theater and watch
Yeah,
the trailer,
yeah. Like
before.
I don't consume any of that stuff. It's just like because it's like people like I watch reaction channels and then they're like Spider-Man Homecoming first 4 minutes. I'm just like, why would I watch that?
God,
like,
no.
you might as well just post last 10 minutes. Just like what? Why not? You just completely ruining the movie anyway. Like just show any random chunk of the movie. It's like so I'm glad I stay out of that loop. It's like I wouldn't have even seen the Thor Ragnarok trailer unless it had
You were in the
started
theater.
playing. Yeah. It's like, okay, I guess I'm watching this now. Like otherwise, it's like, okay, obviously that friend from work joke is completely rang dry. Nobody's gonna laugh at that when
They
they see
did.
it
They
in the
laughed
theater.
hard at it.
Yeah, but I'm saying when they actually see the movie in theaters, it's just like,
Oh
yeah, I
yeah, yeah,
remember that.
yeah. Okay.
I've
Yeah.
seen this 50 times now. So it's
I
like,
totally get you.
yeah, because like even after I watched the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer the first time, I didn't even watch that same trailer again. Just like because I'll see something different if I watch it a second time, and then I'll see more information. Like, you know what? I'm good. I know I want to see this. That is the purpose of a trailer. It's like, you know what? I'm sold. I'm going to see this movie. You could
Well,
advertise
the one thing I will tell you is that Spider-Man will be in this
Avengers
MCU
Infinity
movie.
War.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, that is good news. Because like all the whatever the hell they're
All the other
doing with
stuff.
Venom, just
Yeah.
like, okay, whatever. You just you let me know when you figure your shit out. Let me just enjoy my MCU, and you guys can have whatever
Spider-Man
fractured spider
extended
web
universe.
verse. Like, this universe is gonna be fractured like a spider web, so it's not gonna exactly make sense. But it's in this world, but not in this universe, even though that seems like not possible. But anyway,
Anywho, well, just moving on from that because I don't want to talk about it that much.
yeah.
The live action Aladdin remake that I mentioned, they found their two actors to play Aladdin and Jasmine. Apparently, there was some, they were having trouble trying to fill those roles for some reason.
What I mean, just pick Rob and Kim Kardashian. What's the
They're Armenian,
speculation?
and they're horrible people and horrible actors.
Hey,
And
you know,
Rob is morbidly obese, and he is a criminal using revenge porn against the mother of his kid.
if you held everyone's revenge porn against them, then we would have no Hollywood actors. All right, so who do they cast?
Well, the male actor that they chose for Aladdin, his name is Mena Massoud or Masad from. Apparently, he's going to be on the Jack Ryan TV show that's going to be on Hulu or Amazon Prime or whatever. I have no
Okay.
idea who he is. And Naomi Scott from the Power Rangers movie who played Trini is going to be
Okay.
Jasmine.
Mm,
And obviously,
seems
people
kind of
are
tiny.
upset.
I feel like,
People are upset with both casting.
yeah, it's
Casting.
like I kind of pictured the live action Jasmine to look similar to Kim Kardashian. Like, I mean, that's the problem when when you remake
Kim
these.
Kardashian's too fat to be goddamn Jasmine. What the
I
hell are you
mean,
talking
she's a
about?
mom now, but I'm picturing like
Even
somebody
before,
like
with a big fake ass and fake tits.
yeah, they always animate these
It's completely
characters to
annoying.
be chesty and hippie. So it's like
Are you one of
you
those
can't.
people that was upset that Gadot got cast as Wonder Woman because she didn't have her tits were big enough?
It wasn't even about her boobs, it was about her arms. It's just like she looks like a model. And she's beating like you have all these ripped like MMA fighters who
Yeah,
are
actual
supposed to be
fucking.
training her and she's like kicking all their ass. It's just like I don't know. Like that didn't take me out of the movie, but like looking back on it, it's just like that doesn't really make sense. Like
You want these comic book anatomically incorrect females with the big giant tits and like hips and like
no,
small waist.
no, like I said, it's about arms. You have women in the actual movie who look like they could play Superman, and you have this
Sure.
model smacking them across the screen. Just like, yeah, mm, maybe maybe you could have picked that one to be Wonder Woman. It was
Acting.
yeah, it was
It's
like
Zach. It's acting.
it's like I'm thinking about who was I'm trying to think who was what you call it the henchman from uh, Deadpool. I felt like she looked,
Gina Carano.
yeah, she looked very Wonder Woman esque. A lot of people
I
thought
don't
she,
think she's that good of an actor. I wouldn't want to.
well,
There lies the problem.
Gal Gadot question mark like how
Oh, you didn't think she was that good?
I mean how much heavy
I mean, she
lifting did
was.
she actually do in the movie? I mean it wasn't about her being bad, but it's just like what did she didn't like
She
have
trained
any
a lot.
she didn't have like a monologue that made me cry or anything. She carried what she needed to carry, but like I feel like you could have gotten Gina Carano to that position. But I'm not gonna complain about
Have you
things that
seen that
already
movie?
exist.
That Steven Soderbergh movie that Gina Carano starred in? I think
No,
it was like Michael Fassbender was in that movie. It was from a couple of years ago. It was like some action movie
no, I
that
haven't
she
seen it.
did. And what did you think of her abilities in a Deadpool? I mean,
I
you
mean,
know,
she could jump and land in the superhero position and punch Colossus in the dick. It seemed pretty effective. So I could picture Wonder Woman doing something like that.
punching some guy in the dick.
Yeah, I mean, the that's the ultimate way to fight back against tyranny. Wait, I'm trying to. Who is the? I'm trying to find these Aladdin actors. They keep showing like people they want to be
Yeah, that's why
Aladdin.
people are so upset because it's like they wanted the characters to be like more Middle Eastern or Arabian or something.
Yeah, that would probably be a good choice. But I need to see these people. Okay,
And people are mad that she got cast because they said her skin is too light, which is like that's like a whole nother fucking
yeah, you know,
issue.
that's that's always an issue. Like whenever there's an Egyptian movie or anything like that, there's people aren't happy about those castings. Especially when you have like a movie like Gods of Egypt where everybody is just white. But
Yeah,
I mean, this is Hollywood we're talking about. You kind of take what you get.
and like what I think my whole thing is that it doesn't matter who they cast in any of these Disney live action movies because it's the name of the movies that's going to sell
Yeah.
this movie, not the actors.
Although
They could literally hire like anybody to play Aladdin Jasmine. It wouldn't matter because people are still going to see it.
although based on like when you like ride on name recognition and say casting doesn't necessarily matter, you do get situations like Lone Ranger. You cast Johnny Depp as Tonto.
Are you Are you comparing the Lone Ranger to any of these Disney movies?
No, but I'm saying that was a Disney property, wasn't it? Or at least that was a Disney movie that they
I'm
were.
talking about like that these animated classics.
Yeah, but like, how many people went to see Beauty and the Beast? I don't think it was the
It made a
success
lot
that
of
they
money.
exactly
It was
wanted. I
it
think
was a huge success.
I think it still fell short of their opening day expectations. But either way, it's still like,
Emma Watson was like their fifth or sixth choice to play Belle.
yeah, it's just like these things get built up so much in people's minds and imaginations because they've seen this as kids. They're never gonna live up to um, what this has become to people. So it's kind of
How come
always
she doesn't look
trying.
like the cartoon this cartoon character that doesn't exist?
I mean, that's a good question. Why are they making remaking a cartoon that they would even bring this
To make
problem
money.
upon themselves? Yeah, but you're still gonna get people who's like the people you're expecting to sell this to again are going to have complaints because like this is for me, isn't it?
They're going to complain, but they're still gonna fucking see it.
Some of them are, and some of them won't. Like some of these older people like myself, you just be like, yeah, I liked Lion King. This one, maybe I'll see it when it's on Netflix. I'm not gonna
Like
run
you,
out to see
they're
Lion
not
King
catering
again.
to your demo. They don't give a shit about you, Zach, or me.
I mean, well,
We're
I guess
old.
they want that new generation of Disney clamshell buyers. Although they're not clamshells anymore. It's just it's probably going to be all digital anyway. But they want that next generation so that they could break box office records that they've broken already. It's just weird to see like you're gonna see like The Lion King on the list of like highest grossing animated or whatever movies twice. It's just odd. But anyway.
Beauty and the Beast has it made 219 million domestically, 206 million internationally. It's made 424 million worldwide since coming out back in March. I
Okay.
think. I think it's the highest grossing of these live
The
action,
remakes.
yeah, these money grabbing remakes
Yeah.
on a $25 million production budget.
That doesn't
Pretty
sound
low.
right. It, it must really
Because
cheaped out
that
on that beast.
that's what I mentioned with these actors. It's like they didn't need to get like big names or really expensive actors. I mean, Dan Stevens is a good actor, but he's not like demanding $20 million a picture, and you know.
How about they try something different instead of these like just straight up remakes of the movies? Like, how about you change the story? It's like, what if? And then just take a slight turn with the plot
Well,
of the
Zach,
story.
that's a Hollywood problem. Like like a Hollywood wide problem.
Well, of course.
Remakes and sequels and prequels and
Yeah. It's was it I think there's a Razzies category for like rip off remake or reboot, something like that. So Hollywood, do better.
do better, Hollywood.
Yeah, we got to do better.
So do you want to finally jump into Planet of the Apes? War for the Planet of the Apes. Ape, monkey, 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 monkey,
I don't remember that
monkey,
from the movie.
monkey, monkey.
Monkeys.
Oh yeah, but spoiler alert. This is something I've been joking about, like on my Facebook status updates the past couple of movies. They finally had a shit flinging. It wasn't Caesar, but we still had the monkey shit. I was so
Yeah,
happy.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very pivotal
I
part of
thought
the
about
movie.
you when I saw that. I was like, I bet Tony really likes this. Um,
Oh, I don't know how to feel, how I should feel about that.
when you think of shit, think of Tony. um, so how did you like the movie?
I liked it very much. It's the best of these of the recent Planet of the Apes trilogy. I mean, I can't. Is there anything bad about this movie that you can think of that isn't nitpicky?
All right, well, this may be an entry in our ongoing series of what are some things that Zach doesn't like that everybody else does.
I
I
mean, it's a very bleak, depressing movie.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. I like the second one better, actually.
Oh,
Um,
really? What
yeah,
didn't you like about this movie?
I just feel like I was bored for long portions of this. Like,
Did you want more humans than monkeys? Because that's pretty much the human stuff is the least interesting stuff of
yeah,
these movies.
I feel like if you were critiquing if all these apes were real actors, just ape actors, I would say like I don't think they can carry a movie. Cuz it's just like I was
You didn't believe them. They didn't commit to their acting.
yeah, I believe them
They should
more
go
in the
back to
second one.
Juilliard.
I really miss Koba. I don't know, it was just like
You
they
had
were-
some Koba in this one,
I
flashback
mean Ghost
or
Koba
not
or
flashback,
whatever.
but yeah, exactly.
But I feel like there's obviously always the parallels of like racial inequality with the Planet of the Apes, which I don't necessarily like being represented by apes, but there's always supposed to be that kind of parallel or that idea at play. And I felt like
That's how you felt about all this stuff about them being caged and having to.
yeah, I mean that extended like slavery portion was way longer than I had the attention span for. It's just like,
You didn't look
okay,
at that
I
as more
get
of
it.
sort of like as like a Jesus sort of like Jerusalem and like
Let my
oh
people
Moses
go.
thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's still
more than like black slavery.
I mean, slavery is slavery in my opinion, but I could see where you're talking about. Like they're building a wall and building pyramids. I get it. I mean, but also if you remember Spider-Man: Homecoming, the Washington Monument was built by a slave. So slaves are of all kinds are used to build all kinds of things. But I just felt like that stuff kind of lost my attention, and I mean, it was obviously predictable. Where you have this crazy colonel, who I don't think was ever named. He's just credited as the colonel, but he kills all of his sick invalid soldiers, and only to turn feral at the end himself. Like I saw that one coming from a while before the reveal happened.
Did you guess that the soldiers that the apes thought that were coming to like help him? Did you guess that those soldiers were coming to stop him because he's a crazy like asshole?
I didn't predict that, but it still kind of fell into like plot convenience because it's just like, oh, luckily this insurmountable armada is not coming for our heroes. It's just like, well,
They're gonna kill each. The humans are just gonna
yeah,
kill each other.
it's just like, all right, that's very lucky, and there's just gonna be this magical avalanche that kills every single human that is left.
That's what I was thinking too. Did every single human die from that?
Yeah, it's just
Like nobody got away.
like all right, that was cleaned up nice and tidy.
That bomb
That
that
was
blew up.
almost like one of those Ultron level plot convenience things. It's like, oh, if we kill this one, they all fall dead instantly. It's just like, all right, lucky
That's
us.
what I was thinking. Like, is that all? That's all of humanity, or just
I
the
mean, like you should there should be some kind of doomsday level protocol. You should have like the president and a select number of like elites in a bunker somewhere. But like in
yeah?
terms of
There
this
has to be like
story,
some women and children
yeah, in
somewhere.
terms
Yeah.
of this story, they've called this a conclusion. I mean, I guess it's a conclusion of the trilogy. Then maybe they're gonna start another trilogy. But I was thinking like if this is the last one, I'm not really happy with it. Um, because it's just like, all right, a lot of stuff was convenient, and Bad Ape wasn't like the bit of comic uh
I thought that it was
relief
just
that
enough comic relief because
I was
that's a
I,
character that could have ruined the movie. But
I just
they
kept thinking, I
definitely.
was like, man, that sounds like Steve Zahn, and it is Steve Zahn. Just like, all right, I was
Oh, did you know
distracted
that
by that.
beforehand, or did you just
No, I just
it just
listened to his
sounded like
voice. I was just like,
you could
man, that
tell?
sounds like Steve Zahn. And I didn't know that until I looked it up today. I was just like, oh, it was Steve Zahn. Okay, because I was
But he is.
distracted by how Steve Zahn he sounded. Because I like watched the American remake of Wild Dogs. And you like hear like his neurotic voice worrying about like all this crazy stuff they're getting into, and that's all I could think of.
Bad ape.
Bad
Bad
ape,
ape.
bad ape. Hi, bad ape, bad ape, bad ape. At your service. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was like the battles I liked. I'm trying to think some of the things that stood out to me as
I was just
positives.
amazed at how for, like most of this movie, like you didn't even like need like dialogue, just the facial expressions and
Yeah,
just
I
sort of like
enjoyed
the.
that, and I enjoyed
I like that.
like
That was
the
very
sign language and how it's
Andy
interesting.
Circus
Yeah, it's
killing it.
interesting that he's the most advanced because I guess he got most of that gas or whatever that
The from the first movie because he was
yeah,
the first one.
yeah, because he was like patient zero pretty much.
Yeah, if you
But
will.
so I enjoy how they're all able to operate even with those differences. They can do the sign language. The big orangutan dude does talk, but not as well as everyone else. So he just goes along with the sign language. Their human pet. Uh, it was interesting that
Did you
introduces us
have
into
you seen the
this.
first? Have you seen the original Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I think I've seen all of them. The Charlton Heston series. I mean, well, I don't
She
think it's in all of them,
she
but
she is the character Nova that becomes the character in the first Planet of the Apes, the female character.
oh, so she's the one in the cage that he has a one-sided love affair with because she can't talk. Uh,
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense. I was wondering about that in the original series. Like, can they not talk just because they haven't been taught, or is it an actual ailment? And apparently, they're explaining it as
the
like this is a
the
disease.
mutated the disease which originally just killed them. Now it's mutated where it makes them
Kills the part of the
dumber.
brain, their
Yeah,
higher
exactly.
order brain functions.
It robs them of their brain function. So it's like it's switching places with
Yeah, so
the apes.
they have primate brain, and now we have, uh, I mean, now we have what the apes had, and they're taking our place, and we're gonna be in cages, just like we had them. So it puts us in position where that'd be really weird if all of this is just a prequel to the first movie from the 1970s, but it's kind of that's where we're left off at. They should have had a scene at the end where they're just like, "Hey, let's bury that Statue of Liberty." It's just like, what? Why? um,
That's what I was thinking too. From like the first one, because they're in like California in this movie
yeah,
in the
like
first
the
three
Bay
movies,
Area.
and then they end up in like New York or in the or do they go across the country in the first in the original Planet of the Apes movie because that's where the Statue of Liberty is obviously in
I
New
mean,
York or
I don't know if
they do a lot of traveling.
they travel in this one and they end up in the desert, which I don't feel like that's a long journey if they were still in California. Um,
They just go south. Yeah,
yeah, so
they're going along the coast.
I guess so. So maybe they're in Nevada when they end up in the desert in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That would make more sense because I don't think they've crossed the entire country. But like this disease has spread everywhere. So I wonder if there's other like ape factions or is this just like the core group and they're just sticking together the whole time because they probably can set up cities at this point. Like, okay, this is uh this is Ape York right here and we're gonna set up Ape Cago and
Go ape Chicago.
Los Apeshilus.
This isn't the Flintstones, Zach. You like for the word rock or
Ape
go home. That's
Vegas.
it.
Viva Ape Vegas. Um, new
So what did
new
you
new
like more
apes to
about the
go.
first the
Um,
new Apes to go? What did you like more about the second one than this one? Like
I felt like the
what was so
conflict.
strong about?
I felt like the conflict was more interesting. Like there was the war that like neither side really wanted, but it was happening, and we were just like it was like Koba set off the war, and then Caesar basically had to carry it out. I enjoyed that.
Hmm.
I mean, there's always inner conflict, and it's the same thing with in this one. It's just on the other side. Like, okay, now the inner conflict was within the humans. I just felt like there was more
What
going
did you
on at any given time in the second one. It just seemed like there was
what did
like
you
long
what did you
extended
think
periods of
about
slavery.
Caesar and like the whole inner conflict that he has where he kills one of his own, and then he has that whole he's being haunted by the ghost of Copa because he Ape doesn't kill Ape, and like that he's kind of like tortured by that, and like
I enjoyed
just the
that
whole
continuity
hatred.
from the
Yeah.
previous one. So that made sense for that. I wish there was I don't know, I just wish there was more of Caesar being like in a leadership position. It was just like him beat down and locked down for longer than was interesting to me. It's just like, okay, I killed your family, I locked up all of your people. Now, what are you gonna do about it?
You
And
want
then,
to you want to see the heroes be strong and be in charge.
yeah, I
You
wanted to
don't want to
see an
see.
actual war. It was like it was if you would think about like how people were like Captain America Civil War, you could have just called that like civil skirmish. Like this wasn't really a war. It's just like
Well, we know
an
how this.
extended period of
We know that they win in the end because these are prequels. Like we know how this is gonna
yeah, but it says war for the Planet of the Apes, so I wanted there to be like big wins on
end.
one side, and then there's a
So
turnaround.
you're upset by false marketing.
Yeah, it was just like okay, there was a decent battle, and then like the humans won, and then they were just stupid because they didn't execute all the apes. They just decided to enslave them, and then they they're their own undoing. That wasn't like a victory for the apes. It was just like oh, thank God that's over. It's just like they just got lucky. I wanted to see the apes win to become dominant instead of just
You
like
got that in the
surviving.
last movie.
Yeah,
You want
but then
you
they
want the
could have
same thing.
gone
You want
somewhere
the
else
same
with
thing
it.
that happened again.
No, but it's like like if you've had the war already, then this should be something else. You could have taken me to because they gave hints of this, not exactly, but you could have gone to the weird version of the Planet of the Apes franchise, like beneath the Planet of the Apes, and you could have made these human characters even more fucked up. Like they've been living underground for so long, their eyes are like black, like. Because did you ever see that one Beneath the Planet of the Apes
Yeah,
with like the
the
mole
second one.
people who worship the atomic bomb? Like I would have appreciated something weird like that. This was just kind of like if this was like a television series, I would say this was like a filler episode. It's just like okay, what else is gonna happen? Because I don't feel like there was like a really big climax in this. It's just like an avalanche. No, that was under the power of neither side. It was just like luck. It's like the climax is a lucky
Was it?
moment.
I thought that the avalanche was caused by the place blowing up by when Caesar hit
Yeah,
that
but
gas.
that's still like it wasn't like a plan. Like you know what? I'm gonna blow up this gas tanker and I'm gonna destroy the entire mountain because he was still caught off guard by just like everybody else. But they had the ability to climb trees. So it was just like it was still luck in the grand scheme of things because like all the shooting and other explosions from the helicopters bombing everything could have caused that as well. It wasn't like it was a plan by
Exactly.
Caesar.
It's like they had to. The monkeys had to get out of the apes had to get out of it because the humans were just going to destroy each other
Yeah, they
and them
just
along with
survived.
them eventually. Yeah, they knew they had to come up with a plan to get out of there.
Yeah, but
And the
it's
whole
like it doesn't really make the apes position in the whole thing special. This could have been like Planet of the Dogs, and it just could have shown how dogs survived. All these humans being stupid and bombing each other. It's just like, hey, let's hide because that's what they did in the end of it.
isn't that like just isn't that one of the whole like themes of the whole Planet of the Apes series is that
Yeah, it's kind
humans
of a
are like
morality
stupid.
tales like, hey,
And
humans
this is
destroyed themselves.
exactly.
But it's just like there could have been a more exciting way to do that. It seemed like the apes were bystanders in their own movie. It's just like, all right, humans blowing each other up. Apes could have kind of kicked back and hid and relaxed the entire time because they were
Mother
just like,
Nature. Humans have been trying to bend Mother Nature's will, and now they're being punished for it.
yeah. And I'd rather this be more about the apes succeeding versus like humans fucking themselves over. But
The whole series started with humans fucking themselves over. They
yeah, and they could have
invented this
gone
virus.
somewhere different.
That
Yeah.
they invented this virus that killed, that gave the apes intelligence that
Yeah, and
eventually led
killed
to the
them and
downfall of
all of the
humanity.
dogs and cats. Like I wish the dogs and cats were spared in this whole thing, but you know,
I'm trying to remember, like, who came up with the simian virus? Was it James Franco's character, or was it something that they were creating in like that lab?
I think it was. I think
That
he was.
Alzheimer's drug.
Yeah, it was Alzheimer's drug. I think it was one of those cases of where they like rushed it into production when it wasn't ready because they have like several versions of it. It was something like that, uh, and I think Caesar. I forgot what the exact through line was, but it was like they pretty much everybody besides James Franco was an asshole, and they did too much, and Caesar just like, hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm releasing this for everybody, and then whatever side effects of this thing not being ready and not being exactly what they wanted because they didn't want to just make apes super smart. They just wanted to reverse the effects of Alzheimer's. So this version of the drug was definitely not what they wanted in the first place. So they never got a chance to do version 2.0 because they were all killed.
Man's folly.
Yep. But yeah, I just wish there was something. I wish it was more. There was more to this movie because I just felt like I seen it. It's not one of the ones I would go back and watch. Like I would watch. I would definitely watch one and two over again, and I have watched one a couple times. But I don't think this would be one I would watch over again.
Were you sad when Caesar died at the end?
Yeah, I felt like that was kind of a disappointing death. Like his wife and child, their their brains are just blown out in his in the beginning of the movie. So I wanted this to be like a Charles Bronson like Death Wish type uh revenge story, and he never really got to that point. And even like his heroic moment where he's getting the grenade to shoot, he just like falls over on his side, and then
That's
his
but that how conventional and just played out is that that's what you wanted, another revenge movie of him just killing people, the
I
humans
mean,
for killing.
why do you just kill an innocent child and mother without like leading into that? You might as well just blown his head off in the beginning, and then that would have been different. Also, like okay, you want
But
something different? Kill them all.
aren't aren't the apes supposed to be better than the humans, more evolved than the humans?
Yeah, but like okay, I consider myself a highly evolved human, but I'm not gonna let somebody kill my family in front of me. Just like you know what, I'm sophisticated. It's
So
like instincts are
instead of
instincts.
instead of ensuring the like the safety of like the whole ape race, like he should just go off on this solo
I mean, it
revenge
doesn't have to
mission,
be a
which he was
solo
trying to
thing.
do.
They were.
Which he was
This
trying to
is a
do,
war.
but
That
thankfully the other his other friends, Maurice and the other ones, came with him to keep him from going off into that deep end, that sort of Koba sort of crazed obsession with killing all the humans.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it didn't have to be a solo kamikaze mission, but he could have had some kind of plan because he ended up like just getting caught, like what would have happened even if he didn't venture off into this place because like they found their headquarters, they captured everybody, so him leaving didn't
Yeah, I was
really
gonna say.
benefit
Yeah,
them in any way.
they
So it's
all
just
they all got caught anyway.
it's like okay, there could have been a more comprehensive plan like okay here's how I get my revenge, not just like oh okay I'm abandoning I'm abandoning everyone and then I'm gonna go get caught, and then everybody else is gonna get caught, and we're all gonna be brought together anyway. So
That fucking ape that sold them out. He told
Winter,
them where they were. Yeah, Winter.
goddamn white ape, um, treacherous white apes. Um,
Treacherous white ape.
yeah, I like there was a lot of the see that's another one where like um conspiracy theorists or people who want to look deeply into this, you'd be like, yeah, damn coon apes, uh, always
People who are
siding with
projecting
the
their
the
own
white man.
personal stuff. They have
Yeah.
people who have their own personal issues.
Yeah, but it's like hard to not see the parallels with that. It's just like, damn house apes. Why can't you be down for the program? Down with the brothers. My man, Caesar. Caesar. Um, anyway. Um, anything else you want to touch on from War for the Planet of the Apes?
Uh, I'm just wondering, like, where. I mean, I assume that this is the last one. It's always a trilogy. I don't know where they go from there. It kind
I,
of depends on how successful this movie is if they continue.
like I said, I would like them to go that weird route and go to like beneath the Planet of the Apes and do some of those weird type stories.
Escape
Uh,
from Planet of the Apes. Is that which one is the one where they're in like Los Angeles or something in the 1970s?
hmm,
Fucking
I can't remember
because like
that
one of
one.
the apes is like in like the zoo or something, the baby ape, and the baby ape can talk and
I think that sounds like Escape.
escape.
Yeah, I know there were some of them. They were really like fun because it's just like they just like you know what we're just gonna do this in whatever setting we see fit. So I
It
remember, but yeah. So yeah. I hope this isn't the very end of the story, but we'll see.
it made a 56.5 million to
Okay.
knock off Spider-Man: Homecoming, which made 45
Okay.
million.
All right. So that's good for them in their opening week. Um, so we'll see how they proceed. If this is a
I
enough of a
don't know how
success,
that
then they can't
compares
turn away
to
money.
the other one.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they can't turn down money. So if they see this as being enough of a cash cow to keep going, then they'll do more. Uh, yeah. Speaking of the other movie that I was alluding to
More
earlier, Atomic
money.
Blonde. Say it again. I'm gonna hang up and come back to you because I'm having a trouble with the connection. So I'm going to reconnect with Tony, and then we're going to talk about Atomic Blonde. So let's do that when we get.
Yo,
Hey, all right. So I was saying uh,
hello,
let's talk about Atomic Blonde. Uh, I
hello.
you hear me, Tony? Can you hear me? All right, we are having technical difficulties. We are officially in the technical difficulty zone. So I am going to call back and we're going to see how we can do this.
Yo, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Atomic Blonde. So only one.
Charlize Theron's Atomic Blonde. What is
Yeah,
Atomic Blonde about?
it's about
Give me a basic sort of.
it's a spy action movie set in the Cold War era, just before the
Oh, it's in
fall
the
of the
past.
Berlin Wall. Yeah. So
Okay.
80s. There's a lot of
So
80s music. Um,
as one would expect.
yeah. Um, and one
Don't
thing
spoil too much for me.
I'm not going to. One thing you can always figure out, you can gauge the age slash intelligence of the audience you're in when you hear the opening lines of the song "Under Pressure." You listen to the reaction of the audience. It's like, oh, they thought this was Ice Ice Baby. It's like really, but so like to not spoil anything about it because I'm the only one who's seen it and the movie isn't even out yet. Um, the action was really good. Um, Being a spy thriller, there are some, you can expect some kind of twists and turns. Um, there's some nudity, uh, some welcome, and
very,
some not
very
so
integral to the
much.
plot.
Uh,
Oh, so male nudity.
no, some nudity from people you would expect. It was just like, I didn't need that.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
uh, I'm trying to think what else. Like I enjoyed. I like. I thought it was fun. I thought there was um some things. Some things that slightly disappointed me would be spoilerish, but a lot of other people wouldn't have a problem with it. I think if you're going in it for action and just like brutal, bloody fights, then you're going to be satisfied. And this creativity and weapon use and is really brutal and realistic as far as the fights are concerned. Because I feel like that's the main selling point of this one. It's billed as like if John Wick was a chick. I never saw John Wick, but
That's what it kind of looks like to me.
yeah, if this is what it's if it's similar to this, then I might be curious to check out John Wick because it's like there's no holding back.
Atomic Atomic Blonde comes out on Friday the 28th, same day as the Emoji Movie. Which movie is going to come out in first?
Well, since I've already seen Atomic Blonde for free, then I'm gonna have to give my movie going dollar to the Emoji Movie. Obviously, it's like it's a given. So
Patrick Stewart is a pile of shit.
yep. Um,
Sir Patrick Stewart.
I predict a 5 out of 5 poop emojis from Tony Hoffman.
Yeah.
So will you be
Hollywood.
there on the first night of the Emoji Movie, or are you gonna wait for the
Oh
crowds to
fuck
die
no.
down a little bit, and then
Not
go?
only that, but not only that, but I may just watch it online.
All right. I mean,
I don't
it
know.
would be appropriate to watch it on your phone. It is the Emoji Movie, so I understand. You just want to see it in the proper context. It makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of shit in the Emoji Movie, The Nut Job too. Nutty by Nature comes out Friday, August the 11th. Will you be seeing that?
I didn't even know about the Nut Job one. This sounds familiar, but I didn't know that like
I
came
don't
out.
remember that
The
first movie
Nut Job.
being that successful
I
enough
don't.
to
I
make a
remember
sequel.
anything about it.
I just remember squirrels and like it was like obviously a CGI animated movie,
Obviously, there
not
was
made
some
by
kind of
Pixar.
yeah. There's obviously some kind of like nut puns, and
Yeah, exactly.
apparently they didn't run out like Nutty by Nature. It's it's squeakquel levels of bad. But I guess there
I'm
was.
trying to think. Is this the one where it's like the trailer is like they're in their forest and it's being turned down to be made into an amusement park, or was that another
Oh, I think
CGI
that's like
animated
open
movie?
season. Isn't that what that one is? It's
Okay,
like a moose involved.
the same fucking plots with like
I
similar
mean,
animals.
it's these like this is the type of things that parents like get roped into, which
It dragged now, right? I'm so glad I'm not a parent for many reasons.
yeah, that's not something to look forward to.
Right,
There's
shit.
better animated movies out there, I'm sure, than Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature.
Yeah. I just
Uh,
think that sometimes, like with these animated movies, they kind of take the intelligence of these kids for granted, and they feel like, well, as long as it's a cartoon and it has like hip hop references and pop
yeah,
culture references
bright
and poop jokes,
colors and farts
that's
and
enough. Like you
yeah,
can make a good, smart, intelligent animated film. I mean, Pixar and Disney to an extent. They've been doing it for years.
yeah. But even Disney has run out of ideas, and just like, hey, the smart, creative animated movie we made like 30 years ago. Let's do that again. So the well of creativity is beginning to dry up, and this is the result. We are in the planet of the reboots. We are our own undoing. So
Next week is Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. I don't know if I want to see like the subject matter isn't all
I've
that
never been
interesting to
like
me.
into war movies, and just
Or
like, yeah,
British
yeah, this looks like
battlefield.
another brutal war movie where we're gonna see people's limbs blown off, and a story of human triumph and surviving obstacles, of course, and that's gonna be very
Is this World War
motivational.
One, World War One, or World War Two? The story. I think it's the first World War.
I'm not sure exactly. It's one of those times, those few times at war where we weren't involved. So I've already lost interest. Like, ain't no
So you're
Americans in
gonna be
here.
so you're gonna be seeing Girl Trip
Oh,
next week.
absolutely. Like,
After we've
not even
af-
ironically, I'm gonna be
after
like,
we've had a rough night and the fucking the, the house. Now we got
yeah.
Girls Trip.
This is like these are like my summer blockbusters. This is what I've been
I
amped
will
up
never
for.
watch this movie
Why? Didn't you like
because it
set it
looks
off?
painful.
It's like it's
This isn't gonna be set at all.
it's
I mean,
like
but
it's
when
like
you say
set it
like,
off meets Best Man Holiday.
when you say when you say like set it off, it's like I enjoy it, but not for the reasons the filmmakers thought that people would enjoy it.
Mm,
It's a fine movie, but it's perfect for the '90s action melodramatic cheese. And like
yeah.
it is one of those like sort of period movies from that period that you watch as a kid. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's not gonna.
you just reminded me, and I'm so glad I didn't forget this before the episode was over.
Was
I
it the word
watched
period?
no, I watched a movie that was has been recommended on Netflix for so long, and I just never got around to it. But I finally watched Dope. Have you seen Dope?
Oh, is that the one with the kid? It's like the '80s, and he's got like the box cut
You
and
know the
like
funny thing about it, and that's what like kind of made me tune out from it. It's not actually set in the 80s or 90s or anything. It's actually set in
you.
our time. It's set in our
But he's
time
like this
period,
sort of
but
like
yeah,
this retro guy.
they're black
Yeah,
hipsters basically. I mean, what
yeah.
this main kid is a black hipster. He's obsessed with like he like watches old tapes of Yo MTV raps, and he goes to the record store to get like fashion ideas. So, and I like it starts off the I think is Forrest Whitaker is the narrator, and he's talking about these three kids who are the main people in the story. They're they're what most people would call lames or something like that. They're talking about how they fit into high school. Like they're into white shit, like Donald Glover, manga comics. I was just like, wow.
This movie's made for you.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, I didn't know of all these references like manga, comics, skateboarding, Donald Glover, and they listen to white shit like TV on the radio and like all these different bands. It was just like, wow, why didn't I watch this a long time? Because just like you just look at the cover with them like riding bikes in South Central with his box cut. It's just
Yeah.
like this looks like it's supposed to be a period piece like Boys in the Hood or something like that. But it's like no, it's just like they
See,
look like that, and everybody else is just walking around looking normal.
I
So
think the reason why you didn't see it was the same reason that I didn't see Black Mirror and a couple of other shows because it was so hyped up and everybody was saying, "Oh, Zach, you'd like this movie. This would be like a perfect movie for you. You should watch this movie." And you were like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch this
I needed
fucking
some
movie."
I needed somebody I trusted to give me a synopsis without spoiling it because the cover like is totally misleading. It's just like if I knew that this was a satire on like movies like Boys in the Hood, then I would have really enjoyed it because it's just like um I'm trying to think of what would be similar to it. It's kind of like a more serious version of like Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Like
Okay,
it's
but I
more
was kind of
serious.
thinking,
Like
have you ever seen the movie Fat Beach?
I think so. A long time ago, with the was it like Heavy D in it, or was it just the Fat Boys?
Yeah, like does that like would you compare this to that a little bit, or did you say
No,
you don't remember?
it's more like because it wasn't like a straight up parody. It's like it's I don't know if it's anything related to a true story, but it seems like it could have been a true story. But there was a lot of comedy involved in it. It's like it's as if somebody who's seen every like Boys in the Hood movie or whatever got into a real life situation like that. It's just like they're like, okay, now you're forced to sell drugs. It's like, well, we should do this not like they do it in the movies. We should set up an online store. And it's just like it's like a more it's it's like how a smart person looking at this situation in a movie is like, well, I wouldn't do it that way. I wouldn't just go out on the corner and do this and this and this. It's like it's kind of a smarter
Self-aware.
version of one of those type of movies. It's like a fish out of water, nerd out of science class story. Because like they're a bunch of nerds, but they're forced into this gangster situation, and there's a lot of comedy in it.
And who's the model chick? What's her name? Iman something. That's I know she's nude in the movie. The one that he has the hots
I
for.
think it's actually Zoe Kravitz is the
Not the
female
Zoe
lead.
Kravitz, but it's another actress. Is it her or what? I thought there was somebody else in the movie that's nude.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Well, I don't even think Zoe gets nude in the movie. I'm trying to think who gets. Oh, yeah. There's this. I don't know. She's like this half black, half Asian girl. She's like not a
Yeah, yeah,
main character at all. She's just like this crazy sister of this person who's involved. She's like not a main person at all. She's just
Chanel
like
Iman.
yeah.
Iman.
She's a she's a person who
That's
gets
what I remember from the movie.
yeah, she's a person who gets super high and goes to piss outside of a Starbucks, although they call it like $7 or whatever. And she's high on Molly and pisses outside a store. So they call this strain of Molly that they're selling Lily because that's her name. And then it was kind of a take off of like how the intro from Kimmy Schmidt is like one of those just like viral news interviews with just like how they loop them and auto tune them. It's like somebody does an interview about seeing this girl piss outside of a Starbucks. She's like, "How am I supposed to eat my pound cake while somebody's pissing?" And then like when, like so when they start selling this drug, it goes viral, and then it's like everybody's like, "How am I supposed to eat my pound cake?" And then they're as they're taking their drugs, they're like thinking of this like viral video. So that's how they gain popularity for their drug business because it basically went viral before they even started selling it. So
She's a Victoria's Secret model and a Sports Illustrated
I
swimsuit
thought
model.
Victoria's Secret models were supposed to have boobs. Isn't it
Yeah,
like
me too.
this was like the most disappointing reveal of all time because she's just like, "Hey, you want to see this?" I'm just like, "Nope, no." I get those titties 4 thumbs down. But anyway, yeah. So
Can't go an episode without a Dave Chappelle, like with James,
yeah.
Charlie Murphy.
And the star of Dope was Shamik Moore. Some people may know him as Shaolin Fantastic from The Get Down, or you might not know him as that, but that's how I know. DJ Shaolin
Cool. I
Fantastic.
will. I will. I think that I still haven't seen it yet. I will definitely have to.
Oh, it also features Flash Thompson from Spider-Man: Homecoming as one of the uh, main characters. He's the friend.
Tony Revolori
Yeah, yeah, and he says "nigga" a
as
lot, which
Jib.
I'm surprised.
Jib.
Yeah, his name is Jib. It's funny if I saw this before Spider-Man: Homecoming, it would have given it a whole new context. Just like picturing that kid saying "nigga" like every 5 minutes. Just like, hey Peter, get over here, nigga. And Penis Parker. Um,
Aesop, Rocky, and Tiger are also in this movie.
yeah. Um, don't get too excited for Tyga's appearance, but ASAP Rocky he has a pretty good role in there. It's actually I feel like I don't know if it's his acting debut, but it was a pretty good role from him. Also, they credit him as Keith Stanfield from Atlanta, but his name is LaKeith Stanfield, but I guess that's more palatable for white people. Maybe he's just going by Keith now. It's LaKeith. But anyway, yeah, that's my
Anyway,
recommendation. Like of the three movies I saw this week, Atomic Blonde, uh, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Dope. Dope was the highlight of my week. So that's
this
my
movie from 2 years ago.
yeah. I didn't know it's executive produced by Pharrell Williams and Diddy actually, because Diddy's adopted son is in it.
Of course.
The son of it's not El DeBarge, it's Albie Shore. He has the unibrow.
Wow, Elder Barge, you ride a full circle.
No, it's Albie Shore. I always mix them
Oh,
up. I can tell you how I feel about you night and day. I shot myself in the leg of accident. Anyway,
and, anything else you wanna comment on
I don't know.
that you did?
I don't think there's anything else major going on uh, that we missed. So with that,
So,
we can probably wrap up.
oh, there is one story that I want to talk about that I saw.
All right.
The headline reads: Amazon delivery driver drops off a bag of poop on family's driveway. A man in
Did
East
somebody
London was
order
expecting a
this?
package from Amazon. A man in East London was expecting a package from Amazon with a special delivery on his driveway was not what he'd ordered. After finding a bag filled with poop and Amazon calling cards, a quick check of CCTV cameras indicated that a delivery driver for the e-commerce giant was responsible. The homeowner, Andrew Wingrave, tells The Sun that he was alerted to the receptacle of poo when his 14-year-old son informed him that he'd seen a delivery driver squatting outside. He says that the Amazon calling cards, seen here in the article, had been used for cleanup when the driver finished doing his business. I was appalled and presumed it was a wind-up, Wingrave said. It's unbelievable. Wingrave wasn't inclined to touch this mess, saying, "What if I had contracted hepatitis C from the driver due to an infection? His actions could have killed me." Instead, two employees from Amazon were dispatched to dispose of the bag. You can bet that they had some word for their coworker later. The customer did actually receive the package he'd ordered and was delighted it wasn't another turd.
Okay, so like the biggest takeaway I have from this article is that in the UK, Amazon delivers packages themselves because they didn't say it was like a UPS driver or FedEx. It's actually Amazon delivering it themselves. That's something different than what we
I
have over
believe
here.
so.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's like the Amazon, what's the Amazon local service that they have?
Yeah, I know
Uh,
they have like 1 hour delivery, but I figured they
yeah,
still
yeah,
have
yeah.
like contractors for that. Um, that's interesting though.
Um,
All right.
yeah, that's what I had to share. Very
Well,
important.
it's nice to revisit our Tony Hoffman poop talk segment. We haven't seen that for a while. So we
Yeah.
get 2 poop mentions in this episode. So that
Funky shit. Funky shit.
makes up for all the missing poop we've had. Um, and there was a little bit of poop talk before the show, but that's that's an
That's between you and
exclusive.
me.
It's exclusive in studio talk. Uh, anyway, with that poopy, drippy outro, let's let people know where they can reach you during the week.
My Twitter handle is @AnthonyHoffman. My Facebook, you can find me on Facebook. Just search Anthony Hoffman. There's only one Anthony Hoffman, damn it. And my Instagram handle is @TonyHoffmanShy. That's Tony Hoffman C HI.
You should investigate if Tony likes poop is available on Twitter because I think you
Tony
might
likes poop.
I think you might want to squat on that one. Anyway,
Pun fully intended. I'm
yeah.
sure.
Anyway, I'm on the Twitter @Zach Reviews because that's what I do. Zach Reviews. So that's spelled ZAC Reviews. I'm on YouTube doing videos pretty much every day of the week now at youtube.com/Zach Hughes. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/Zach Hughes. You can find the Frustrated Grad podcast on Twitter at Frustrated Grad, on YouTube at youtube.com/frustratedgrads. And you can with an S. And you can check out the audio version of the podcast where we have audio exclusive content at iTunes, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Player.fm, Coconuts, Saturday Matinee Music Store, Suncoast Video,
Suncoast.
Blockbuster
Sam Goody.
Video,
Sam
Goody,
the Tower Record.
yeah, all those places.
Name them. What more can you name?
Uh,
FYI.
FYE, they still exist. So I don't know if you can find find us there. Yeah. So, with that, I would say that is it for this video edition of the Frustrated Grad podcast.
What was the name of that music store that used to be downtown on what was it like? It was State in Jackson. It's where that DePaul University Center is now. It used to be like a music store that sold. They had like records and like sheet music, for pianos and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? It was like the Music Mart
is it Melody Mart or something?
Or something like that. You know exactly.
I forgot. But anyway, if you found us any of those places, or you've just found a cassette tape of this podcast sitting on the street in your local neighborhood, then go to iTunes and give a 5-star review and let us know that you like the show. And if you really like the show, you can reach out to us directly at frustratedgrad.com and donate by clicking the PayPal button. So with that, I will say that's it for this episode of the Frustrated Grad podcast video edition. Thanks for watching, and that's all you get for today.